Hello everybody, this is Texas Danny. Today is Thursday, July the 14th, 2022. I believe a very honored holiday here in France. And I want to start off today on the world going over some key points, some key indicators that are happening right now, because we still have our areas in the Mediterranean, the Black Sea, and the Caspian Sea, and the Baltics. All these areas are closing, and they're getting smaller. Please excuse the light on the frame here, but we still have a lot going on. We've had some changes in southern Spain, dropping it down a little bit further. Our stats are still holding firm, like all the stats that keep on showing mileage and stuff like that keep on doing so. But to my eye, no, it's different. To my eye, things are changing, and they're changing fast, and they're changing around. I would like to note that this area of the Western Mediterranean has been growing, with North Africa going up, pushing Tunis and Algeria up all the way towards Sicily. What used to be Corsica and Sardinia for me are right up there. I think there's something called a little different here, but we have a lot of jagged changes on the Italian coast, and we have a little bit more islands popping up there, and we have this area of Western Mediterranean. The Western Mediterranean is just closing, and it's closing fast. We also have the Central Mediterranean dominated by the Gulf, going into the Adriatic, southern Italy, southern Greece, western Greece, the Aegean, and Turkey. I want to make a point, if I can show you something about how things have gone, how they've changed. Please note Turkey. Please note Turkey. Okay, and the Aegean here in Greece, going into the Black Sea, right? This area is the Dardanelles. Okay, this has changed quite a bit over the last few years, and what used to be designated as Gallipoli is no longer there. It's got another name, another term to it. It may mean the same thing in there, but there was a movie called Gallipoli that was made with Mel Gibson in it, and that was made. Now, going up into Istanbul and the Straits there, I want to lead you to where I was when I was in the military, and it was a radar base, which I suppose has been deactivated for some time. But the northernmost part of the northern Turkey was Sinop, Turkey. Now, what you're seeing off to its west is something that did not exist. For me, in my reality, my timeline, it did not exist. This was not here, okay? And we didn't have Sinop. I'm sorry again for the resolution. It's kind of confused there. Sinop did not sit like this, like a 12 o'clock position in north and south. It sat over more like a 1 o'clock position, maybe even a 1:15. However, knowing the maps, and we had a map of Turkey and stuff like that, this part of our Ukraine, thank you, this part of the Ukraine was almost due north. It was not exactly due north, but it was just a little bit due off northwest. Just north, a little bit northwest. Now, this is the distance that radar base has traveled. And I know it's you would even put it in space-time somewhere up in here with the movements that we've had and so forth like that. But it used to be dead center of Turkey right here, and now it's about 70 miles further east. 70, 80 miles, I don't know what exactly. And the Black Sea is closed. This used to be maybe 150, 200 miles more in area. We have changes coming out, and I would like you to show you what Turkey is doing, okay? Now imagine in the past that this was Turkey, and this was Turkey more or less was aligned west to east. And it was the center land bridge between Europe and Asia. a very strategic spot in the world. Now, what has happened is, essence, the size has gone down and the orientation, because it's changed like this and moved down. Do you see my point? Let's put it back. Move it up, make it bigger, okay? More of a west to east, east to west, and bigger. It's become smaller, and then it's moved down. In addition to that, the Eastern Mediterranean has closed. We're having openings here going out from Syria to Iraq, out to the Persian Gulf, activities that are going all the way up into Aleppo, Syria. Okay? Aleppo, Syria, and then through Baghdad, down to the Bosphorus. And we've got some serious issues going on here in central Saudi. We've got the Red Sea still in activities, and a lot of issues are going on right now. One I want to show you right now, which is really big, and again, I apologize for that in the view screen, but we have New Zealand in a constant flow southeast of Australia. She is moving constantly. And all along with Antarctica, which is active, South America, Africa, the Indian Ocean coming down, a lot of activity in there, subaquatic, Australia. But we have New Zealand, which will the residents will say that it's been this way. I've watched it, even old television shows, which I recognize from the past. McHale's Navy. McHale's Navy had an episode of there with was showing the map, and it was showing New Zealand. But even then, when I was watching that feature on television about a year and a half ago, it would have been further up in here. Ocean Girl in Australia also specifically noted the changes. I couldn't quite figure out what it was about the North Island, but the North Island had veered its top peninsula off far northwest. This used to be up straight like this. This peninsula right here, out towards Auckland and everything like that, used to be going up in this direction. Okay, the island even now is changing. New Zealand is changing even now. We have changes taking place to Australia, to Indonesia. Krakatau Na called this a Dilophosaur or some kind of dinosaur or something like that. Indonesia was always broken up as a continent in my timeline, but it's even broken up different here. The islands in different directions, all that kind of thing like that. But our biggest point that we have coming up to watch is the central and what has been called the Channel Islands before, moving up towards South Africa, moving up into Southern Africa, into what I call the Angola Tract, the East African Tract, Lake Victoria, Central Africa, the DNC, into East Africa, where we have the East African split opening up. We have the greening here of East Africa. This part is becoming much more greener. And we have the changes taking place to the Sahara. And we have the degreening of Nigeria, all the way down to Lagos. And coming from Area 42, Egypt, Giza, right? Going towards Chad, towards Nigeria, into the Atlantic, are going to be quantum changes coming in through this area. And they're happening right now. The eastern coast of South America continues to move and change. The southern part of the Amazon is deforesting. This specifically, the state of Mato Grosso has got the most quantum changes of all of them going on right now in the southern regions of the Amazon. But we have a lot of changes to the waterways in the Amazon, and I think we're going to have a lot of things going on out through there. We have some very interesting developments off of Peru, the subaquatic, Lake Titicaca, Bolivia. You see this imprint right here? This is the continent being moved at its greatest point. Paraguay, and of course, from my timeline, Argentina was devastated. in the earth changes. Argentina was just utterly devastated. And we have a lot of things taking place with Chile. But look how close now everything is. If you have a memory of the old earth, of the differences here between where New Zealand, Antarctica, the changes to Antarctica. Antarctica is almost rotating clockwise, gearing up movements of the mechanical movements into the South Atlantic and the subaquatic breaks that are coming on down there and the happenings that are going up into Africa. This line is going to keep on going towards East Africa, have divergent effects all the way up to Giza. Again, we have Saudi Arabia, but we also have some very interesting things that are happening with Iran and Afghanistan, electromagnetic kind of movements of our land masses in quantum fashion. These, because they're out of a time frame preference that I don't have conventionally, I over time am watching these flows move, and you will see a lake that developed here between Iran and Afghanistan, and two very distinct land marks. This is almost a giant electronic magnetic swirl that's happened, a giant figure 8, which has led everything into Central Asia. Central Asia is very, very vital because we have the changes that are going on with the Mediterranean, the Black Sea, the Caspian. The Caspian used to be at more like a 12 and a 6 o'clock position. This was coming down here a bit, but it has grown substantially. But all the southern Caspian areas, I repeat, all the southern Caspian areas have declination issues, greening issues through here, and it moved over to an 11:30 to 5:30 position. This water is going to be moving as it gets forced up through here in the Himalayas, this used to be a lot more of a hard ice pack melt right through this area now. And we have much more water going into Mongolia, into Central Asia to divide China out there like that. And we have had fantastic effect changes taking place to all of northern Russia. Now, in the Europe area, what has to be noted, what has to be watched carefully is the Geneva wave. This essentially is from Geneva and the Swiss Alps. This frozen area, this large content of water, when transformed, when changed with the processes that are going on, are going to feed further into Europe and into the Carpathian rotation wheel, which is right here. Along with the Aegean moving here, the mechanism is going to continue to move everything further and over. And going into Central Asia, splitting between Russia and China into the Central Asian areas, and also affecting the Indian Ocean, India itself, the Indian Ocean, the Indonesia, the southeast, the most heavily populated part of the earth will be the greatest affected right here. The most greatest of the earth will be heavily affected, very heavily affected. And it will be changing as we come out to Indonesia and to Australia. You can see what direction now that we have New Zealand going out southeast. So we are closing. We have areas to watch as well. Hawaii, Alaska, the entire western North America. The entire west of North America is under the greatest stress. But here is an extreme evidence that the California Gulf is opening up. And it's right through here, everybody. This area is growing dynamically and very, very fast. Northwest, 30 miles northwest of Puerto Penasco. And this is having its effects in Phoenix, and southwestern Arizona, Tucson to Phoenix, all of southwestern Arizona, the Salton Sea, Southern California, the whole thing, but really the entire state of California. Keep in mind the Sierras with all that moisture up there. And just as we have also the Denali wave, which is the areas in Alaska going down into British Columbia. And it's going to have a lot of effects going into Canada and the United States. I would like you to look at this upside down, by the way. Your areas are going east. East. Everyone is going east. Now, there's a lot of variances in its track patterns, but it's traveling that way. So, keep a lookout, everyone, because these effects are happening fast. We're having a lot of shallowing around Cuba. We're having changes to the water flow patterns all across America and Canada and Mexico. A key area to look into is the area that is western Mexico, which is getting chewed. The coast is just getting chewed up on western Mexico. And the area that's west of Monterey is also greatly affected. Mexico City is in the crosshairs. Mexico City is in a precarious position. And we have continued changes all over Earth. And especially to keep watching this part of the process, the water that goes out is Greenland. It is coming off the entire coastal area very, very fast. And my eyes, when they look in this area, see cracks and so forth like that. It's kind of fuzzy. It's hard to see. But it's affecting greatly the Nordics, northern Russia, and Alaska, northern Canada. Okay, this has been a long one. And thank you for the listen. Texas Danny out.